Well, hello there. How is everyone? I hope you're all well. You amazing, beautiful, wonderful people. And guess what, baby? Guess what? That's it. It's the midweek hump. Who's enjoying the midweek hump? We're going to get straight into the meat and potatoes, as I've got to talk about this. I've got to talk about it. And it does mean sticking with the Jay Slater case for today. All right? Because there's a couple of things we're going to talk about. Now, later on in video 2, I'm going to be speaking about something, the difference between things that are done under duress and things that are done under people's own volition. It's like a teaser, that was, like putting the tip in. In this video, we're talking about something that I want people to think about, because there's a lot of people out there who, when you say about accountability, like we say, some of us say, friends should go out together and they should stick together. Right? You should look after one another. We see too many young fucking idiots succumbing to their own stupidity, succumbing to the aftermath of taking things and doing things they simply shouldn't be doing. But ultimately, the big issue is that the youths of today do not seem to give a flying monkey's ballsack about each other. But we're going to put a spin on the Jay Slater case, because for all of the people out there who turn around and say, well, it's Jay Slater, weren't their responsibility, it wasn't his friend's responsibility. He made his own decisions, his own choices. He should just simply, or people should simply understand that he needs to take accountability of it. Now, he can't take accountability for fuck all, because he was pushed, not pushed. I keep getting that wrong. He fell down a hole and come to a sudden stop. They always say speed kills, don't they? It's not the speeding that kills, it's the sudden stopping that kills. Anyway, I digress. So look, let's just think about something for a second, right? What if, hear me out, what if it was Lucy who actually died? Not Jay, Lucy. So these kids go over to Tenerife, go to this party, NRG festival, they're dancing like that, reaching for the lasers, safe as fuck. And they get separated, and Lucy ends up getting in a car with these two guys and ends up going for a sleepover. Not really a sleepover, because they're literally there for a couple of hours. What can you get done in 2 hours? Who am I kidding? Quite a lot. But look, so Lucy goes there, and then the same story plays out, but not with Jay, not with Brad, not with the other one who's vanished off the planet. But Lucy ends up taking a swan dive down a ravine and getting found. How many people then would be sitting there saying, well, she did it to herself. She's not their responsibility. It's not their responsibility. They would be saying, what the fucking hell were guys doing leaving a girl on her own? Vulnerable girl on her own. What were they thinking? They shouldn't have left her. She's a girl. She's a girl. That's what would have been being said. That's what would have been being said. And not only that, but we take it a step further. We're going to step it up into second gear now, because now we're going to turn around and say, do you fucking think that if this would have been Lucy being the victim, that old Ayub, Qasim, and Rocky fucking Robin, whatever his name is, do you think they would have then been so quick to turn around and say, well, they're irrelevant. They're irrelevant. No, I do not for one fucking second think that because they have penises and she has a vagina, I do not think that they would have turned around and said, no, there's no relevance here. They would have been all over them like vinegar on chips. That's what would have happened there. That's what would have happened. This would have been likely a completely different kettle of fish. Completely different kettle of fish. And that's what's wrong with this picture. Not just this case, but just let's compartmentalise so we don't get too political and upset people. Let's just look at this case. Because Jay was a boy, and he was a fucking idiot, because he was. Look, God bless his soul, but he was an idiot. had done idiotic things in the past, and people felt a certain way about him. People didn't fucking like him. Some people do. We know that. Even if there was... We've seen the GoFundMe. People care. People fucking care, all right? So not everyone don't care, but there's a lot of people out there who feel a certain way. And it's because of that certain way they feel about him that it's very easy for people to turn around and say, no, he didn't do himself, or to accept what they're being told. And I think that that's played a huge part in this case, and what law enforcement and the people around this have gotten away with saying. I said yesterday, was it yesterday or the day before yesterday, when we was talking about Caleb? And, you know, we even look at Riley Strain, for instance. These are all very similar situations where the boy succumbs to an issue, like Caleb Harris. Did he fall down a hole? Did he not fall down a hole? Was he pushed down a hole? Riley Strain, was he spiked? Did he do something, take something, or was he given something? And he's, you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm getting at. But it's very easy for people, because they're kind of liked, for them to then question and not want to let go of it. And for people to be turning around and saying, oh, but I don't know about this, I don't know. But with Jay Slater, it's very easy for more people to say, no, it's just an idiot. Just an idiot, and he fell down a hole because he wouldn't look where he was going. And I say this again, I genuinely believe that if that would have been Lucy who was hurt, if something happened to her, she ended up dead, this would be a completely different situation. Even if every single thing else was exactly the same, there would be more of a problem with it. And I don't think it would be over like this is seemingly over now. Because what are they going to do? What's going to happen? His body's going to get repatriated back to the UK for around 3.5 to 6.5 grand, not 70 odd. And he's going to potentially, will there be an autopsy, an independent one? Possibly. And it will be deemed death by misadventure, because they will feel that the Spanish police have done all the investigation. They have deemed the people, the players, nothing to do with it. And it will just go down as misadventure. The family haven't really come out and said anything or challenged anything. I wonder if Dad is happy with this outcome. Whether he sits there and he is thinking, no, my son, this is what happened. He ended up falling down because he weren't looking what he was doing. But I question, would somebody, even an idiot, be walking along and simply walk their fucking stupid ass off the edge down into a ravine where they would stay for a month? And the last people who saw him alive are deemed by law enforcement, and this was even before they fucking found him, they had been deemed irrelevant. How is that possible? I'm just asking all of the people who think this is a done deal, sold, saved, please tell me and put your answers on a postcode. If it's meant to be, you'll guess my address. I used to use that as a chat line, you know. What's your phone number? If it's meant to be, love, you'll guess it. Anyway, I digress again. That's what I'm saying, right? How is it that law enforcement were able to deem the last people who saw someone alive, before they'd even found out what had happened to him, how were they able to deem them irrelevant to this case? Because unless you cannot answer that question with absolute, in a manner, let's say in a manner that completely makes sense, then you have to understand that this situation was not properly investigated. And hang around for video 2 later today as we deep dive into that situation. I'll see you all then.